What we discussed this morning was a very interesting thing because hopelessness is one of the most difficult feelings to deal with in therapy for us therapists, and it is one of the most difficult things to deal with in therapy for patients. Why? Because when a patient is hopeless, they don't think they can make it, they don't think the therapy works, they don't think it's worth it, they don't know what to do. And even if things work, sometimes they deny it, they don't think it works. And for us it's very hard because we have to deal with the fact that they put their hopelessness, when the hopelessness is very strong and it's overshadowing everything, we have to deal with the fact that the patient doesn't believe in the therapy anymore, does not believe the therapy can help them anymore. If there is a specific trauma at birth, the child can't do anything about it.
Right.
The child cannot think, oh well, I'm being born now. Well, it's not happening the way it should, but it's going to be okay in the end. If the child is in anoxia, needs oxygen, doesn't have oxygen, or the child is trying to get born and it cannot get born, physiologically, he is mired in hopelessness. And all of us who've gone through birth, we all go through the feeling, I am not gonna make it. And further, the futility of the struggle. It's not gonna work. So they fight, and especially when the mother does not open, or the doctor is playing golf, and the baby needs to be born, it's Saturday, and the baby starts going down and it cannot be born, then it's just like he's trying to be born, but he cannot make it because it's not happening the right way. So that is also hopelessness. No matter what I do, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get what I need or what I want. That is hopelessness.
But it's also physiological.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I said. Physiologically, that's what is registered, because obviously he doesn't think, okay, my mother is not ready or her doctor is playing golf. He is physiologically registering a complete near death or close to death experience because he is following the pulsion of life. He needs to be born now. All know, I think, that the baby is the one that gives the signal to the mother, right. Okay, ready to be born now. So the hormones are released and the birth process starts. Or is being anesthetized because the doctor is here, but it's on the birth chain. So mother gets a good shot of anesthetist, and the baby goes. And no matter how much he started coming alive and going down the canal, no matter what he did, it amounts to nothing because now he's being knocked down. Or just slowed down to such an area where he cannot really make himself be born.
Or he's being induced to be born. He hasn't sent the signal. The fetus hasn't sent the signal to the mother, but he gets a signal from somewhere that he's got to start moving before he's ready.
But it's not hopelessness though, is it? I think it may attach itself later to other feelings like who I am. Yes. Makes no difference, is not respected. Nobody respects who I am, nobody cares who I am. Because when it was ready to be born, when it was not ready to be born, it was being made to be born anyway. So it doesn't matter who I am or what I am, they're going to do with me whatever they want.
Each of us in our imprint have a series of events. Very few of us have just one event. It's a series of events that happen during your imprint, okay? Mm-hmm. For me, when I get in hopelessness, when it's at its worst, it goes back to that first feeling, they're making me move and I can't. I can't. Don't make me move, I can't. It goes back to the first part of the imprint.
Let's think about that. Yeah.
Okay. Franz, I wanted to say something about, I know we're talking about the physiology of it, but I was just thinking why it gets symbolized on the therapy.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're not there yet.
All right.
We're still here.
Okay.
At least that's where I am.
All right. Because the original question is
I am on the original hopelessness, which is the strongest ever. The baby needs to be born. The strength of life is pushing him to be born. There is nothing stronger in life than the impulse to life. Nothing. So when that comes out and it is denied or slowed down or stopped, it's still there. But what is registered physiologically is the hopelessness that is attached to the fact that that impulse was denied or was stopped. It's like, I can't be born. No matter what I do, you know, all the moving out and all that force does not account to anything. I can't make it happen. Hopelessness. Physiological hopelessness. Now we grow up and we have parents who don't know how to love us the way we need. Hopelessness there. No matter what I do, they will not love me. Okay, so now we go on. Here. Now here it's a little bit of a different situation in the sense that in the third line we already have all that history behind us. So whatever situation is going to be a situation that we cannot totally control and where we cannot control the outcome may set off the hopelessness. It doesn't mean that it will necessarily for everybody, but let's say the more valence and the more there is here, the more there is a chance that it's leaking on the third line or that it's exerting a force. And then when we have a situation that is equivalent, like we are struggling but we can't make it, then it will join in with what's already inside our brain and our system, and then we will feel again hopeless. So the problem with the hopelessness on this level is that if it joins forces with everything that came before, by the time it's here, represented here, it could be very tiny and it could be gigantic. It depends how much there was here, how much defense we have here, how much defense we have on the second level, or how little we have. The thing is that the stronger the trauma here at birth, the stronger the hopelessness, the physiological hopelessness at birth, the more difficult it's going to be for our system to defend against it. The more chances there is that that hopelessness is already going to be represented on the second line. You know what I'm saying? It's not because it happened on the first line that it's like, ooh, it's in its box, and it's staying there, and it's not creating pressure or directing how the child is later. A child who has been born completely hopeless may not attempt anything later on. He may not even attempt to try to get love from his parents. His physiology has registered that it's not going to make it happen anyway. It's not going to work. It's hopeless. So the child may not even try to get love. And his parents may say, I don't understand what that kid is about. You know, he's not alive, quote. He's not interested in anything. He doesn't want to do well in class. He doesn't want to play with his kids. The other kids, now, I'm taking a very, very extreme example. If that hopelessness is really leaking very badly on the second line, it's already affecting that child's behavior. Not just because it's there and repressed, but because it's already pulling the strings of his behavior on the second line. Now on the second line, there is more that is added to that, because no matter what he does, his parents don't have time, they're not interested, they don't really love him, and now no matter what I do, I can't get what I want. I can't get them to love me. Now we have more of the hopelessness here. So we have the hopelessness from the first line, and we have the hopelessness now from the second line. So now again, it depends how your defenses, how strong they're going to be between the second and the third line. And it's going to depend whether you have more compounding again on the third line. On the third line, you may want to decide that you want to do a special school, and your parents are going to say, oh, we can't pay for that school, you can't do it. Hopelessness.